Welcome everybody to Tough Draft. We are doing a tasting video today for my American Hefeweizen. Every time. I'll link the brew day video in the description below, and if I remember, I'll link it up in the top left as well. I don't remember what the stats are on all this, but I'll go ahead and link the recipe picture as well right here. So let's just go ahead and fire on in and open up some beer. So I have tried this and it was decent. Opened it actually a week ago today, but I'm eager to see how it's changed in the last week or so. It's very yeasty at the bottom. I can see it. Looks pretty good. Looks really good, actually. It looks, the color looks pretty good. It actually smells pretty close to a dang Hefeweizen, I gotta say. So whenever I opened this last Thursday, it didn't quite have nearly the characteristics that I thought that a Hefeweizen should have. And I think it's because I should have let it bottle condition for an extra week. This is now basically 2 weeks from bottling day. Yeah, bottling day was, I think it was 2 weeks ago tomorrow, I think. Actually, no, that's not right. It's been more than 2 weeks now. So this thing should be very good at this point. So color, you can kind of see. It's hard to, I don't know if you guys can tell. Color probably looks a little dark on there, but it's a nice golden. You know, it's got some haze in there. Very effervescent. The bubbles are, you know. It's not as, the head retention is not as good as I would have liked. I've seen some from a local brewery here called Klaus where the head retention was ridiculous. And it was, you know, a nice 2-finger head for, you know, 15 minutes or so. It was insane. But I'm wondering how it would differ like in the keg versus in the bottle. So, all right, let's go ahead and, yeah, that's really good. The nose is you get that, I get that banana and clove characteristic that you're supposed to get on a Hefeweizen. Did not really get that last week. I got more of just like, it was just straight up, it was kind of crisp and refreshing, which is, you know, you could argue that's kind of what a Hefeweizen is, but it didn't quite have the characteristics that I was going for. This, however, does, and it looks brilliant. It's not as yeasty as the last one too. The first one that I opened, and maybe it was the last bottle that I bottled, but there was all kinds of yeast. This one, God, I hope that the color shows up on here. It's tough to tell. It looks a lot darker on the video.
Okay guys, this is Editing Zach. I thought I'd add a video in here to show what it actually looked like to me. This looked a little bit closer to what it looked like to me, so kind of decided to take it out of the sunshine. You can see the head retention is actually not as bad as what I was saying during the video. It seems to be staying a little bit better than what I was saying, but you can actually see some of that effervescence at the bottom, which I think, yeah, there we go. I'm about to show it. There we are.
All right, so let's just go ahead and let's dive on in. Yeah, it's not, oh, it's good. It's actually really good. It's got a little bit of that breadiness that the Hefeweizen yeast will give. Just a touch of that breadiness. It's not like overtly crazy banana, but I do get a little bit of that in there. Like I can definitely tell that this is a Hefeweizen, which I guess is the goal. Yeah, it's actually really decent. It is light and refreshing. I'd actually probably more call this a wheat beer instead of a Hefeweizen. It does use Hefeweizen yeast, so I mean, obviously that's why it's a Hefeweizen. But this tastes more comparable to some of the decent wheat beers that I've had around. So if that tells you anything. I don't really, to be honest with you, I've never brewed a wheat beer, so I don't know, other than like the yeast, I don't know exactly what the difference character-wise. I think there's a lot less clove and banana, which is what this would be. If you told me it was a Hefeweizen, I'd believe you. If you told me it was a wheat beer, I'd believe you. It's good. It's actually very, very, very solid. I've never brewed this style, so for other home brewers out there, it's like super nice to brew. Like I always make my own recipes for the most part. I know I did the New England IPA that was from Perfect Plains in Florida, but for the most part, I like to brew my own stuff. I don't like to take off of any, because that's the beauty of it. I like to see what I can make, you know, what I could come up with. So it is pretty satisfying to brew something that is as good as this on the first try. I'm not saying this is not Live Oak Hefeweizen. It's not, you know, world class Hefeweizen type of beer, but you know, it's a drinkable, you know, nice solid wheat beer that I think people would enjoy. With that said, go ahead and leave me a comment if you've brewed this style before, and just I like to compare notes and see, you know, what did you get out of your recipe? How did your recipe differ from mine? And if you like the video, just go ahead and press that like button. It helps a lot. And consider subscribing. I make videos as often as possible. I think hopefully I'm about to make them a little bit more often. Because I have something sort of special coming up that I'm getting for the house that is gonna change my life. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy the rest of this. I guess I'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot. Cheers, and see y'all.